So I think we can all acknowledge that Sri Lanka has hit the worst economic crisis since independence. But this crisis is not just an economic crisis, it has been brought about by a governance crisis, a long-lasting governance crisis in the country. So what do we mean when we say governance? We mean checks and balances, we mean the separation of powers, we mean decentralization of powers, not further centralization of power within the executive presidency or even the executive arm of government. We mean the freedom for people to dissent, the freedom for people to protest without fear of reprisals. We mean the freedom of expression, we mean the, the franchise, the right to vote. So all of this being taken away actually in composite means corruption. Corruption is not just an economic crime, it's not just financial crime. The abuses of process, conflicts of interest, hiding behind opaque structures, disabling the governance infrastructure of the country, capturing state institutions, policies, laws for the interests of the few, to give tax exemptions, tax breaks to colleagues and friends and henchmen, while imposing excessive taxes on the general public who can barely make ends meet already because of a massive economic crisis. All of these are underpinned by corruption. So to your question of what is being done, we have historically seen that the Sri Lankan government, whatever government is in power, is really, really good at introducing legislation, signing on to international conventions, enacting laws, enacting so-called enabling legislation, but not enforcing it. So if you look at the problem of bribery and corruption, we have the Bribery Commission, we have the Attorney General's Department who has the power to prosecute on certain offences. What are we seeing? I mean, it's not news to the general public that many of the high-profile cases have collapsed for one of two reasons, right? So they say that some collapsed due to a technical issue, some collapsed due to a lack of evidence. Now, say the technical issue is valid, there was still space, and derives from a precedent in 2018, a case in 2018, but subsequent to that, there was the Bribery Commission reserved the right, and court permitted this institution to refile the cases. But upon requesting that information, TISL is yet to receive confirmation that all of these cases, the entire spate that was withdrawn due to this technical issue, have been refiled. And when you come to the second category of cases that have been withdrawn due to the lack of evidence, that really begs the question of, did you not know before you prosecuted that there was a lack of evidence? When you decide as a prosecutor to prosecute a case, you're basically creating a legitimate expectation among the public that you have enough evidence, you have secured enough evidence to secure a conviction. So when you decide to withdraw such a case, when the authority that decided to prosecute chooses to withdraw such a case, you immediately create suspicion as to what is going wrong in that process, whether there is influence, whether there is capture of law enforcement processes as well. I'll end there and we can get further into it.